Sports Entertainment is recorded live at twitch.tv/baldyandthebeast. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time and watch the matches right along with us.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Bront.
I'm Willem.
And we are Baldy and the Beast. Welcome back to another episode of Sports Entertained. Willem, what are we doing today?
Today we are watching Jushin Thunder Liger versus Rey Mysterio from Starrcade 1996. The second time we've actually visited this pay-per-view on the show.
Yes, must have been at least good pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It
was mid-90s Starrcade, so there was at least some sort of precedence for it to be okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Mid to late 90s.
Mid to late 90s.
Anyways, this was in the Nashville Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee. In front of 9,030 fans, which is so weird that their big pay-per-view went on for under 10,000 fans
Right.
because of what I'm used to WrestleMania being now, and even like these big AEW pay-per-views are 20 plus
Right.
or 10 plus usually. So, and that's for a starting company, not like WCW. Have AEW had 20 plus yet?
I don't know, but speaking of AEW, look at my new flags. I've got them done. They're now hanging up in my background instead of my curtain. Look at that. I got my AEW flag and my New Japan flag.
Yay!
I've got
You're
it done.
officially a mark.
Yeah. Any hoozle. I have no idea if if AEW's ever reached over 20,000 fans in attendance. Happy Tuesday, Hillary. Thank you for coming out.
Not the point. The point is that this match was really for one stipulation and one stipulation only. And that is that the winner would get to face Ultimo Dragon in the Tokyo Dome next month. I have to assume that's for no, that'd be too early for Wrestle Kingdom. Probably the precursor to Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, because Wrestle Kingdom, they didn't start that until, well, at least 05 at this point. 06, something like that. But they always had an annual Tokyo Dome show prior to Wrestle Kingdom. It just wasn't always called Wrestle Kingdom. But if it was versus Ultimo Dragon, it was probably for the J Crown, which also was defended on this pay-per-view.
Also the other match we watched.
Yes. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on YouTube. Ultimo Dragon versus Dean Malenko.
Good match.
Good match. A lot of fun.
But anyways, like I said, there is not a whole lot going on, so we can hop right into the card.
Yes.
As we know from experience, Ultimo Dragon defeated Dean Malenko to open the pay-per-view. The second match was Akira Hokuto defeated Medusa for the inaugural WCW Women's title.
Defeated Medusa?
Yes.
Oh.
I was about to say it's surprising Medusa wasn't the first.
Yeah.
Third match on the card was our match, and it was followed by a no DQ match between Jeff Jarrett, who defeated Chris Benoit with Woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that gimmick at all.
Yeah.
But anyways, the next match was the Outsiders, Paul and Nash with Six, or X-Pac, defeated the Faces of Fear, which is Meng and the Barbarian.
Okay.
Which actually probably in real life would kind of be an intimidating duo.
Yeah.
Because Meng is involved.
The thing is, though, they wouldn't be afraid of Meng. They'd be afraid of the Barbarian, and then Meng would just come and bite your nose off.
Yeah, I'd be afraid of Meng because I'm smart on that. I know.
Yeah.
I know that I should be afraid of Meng.
You're smart on that, but Joe Schmo down the street who doesn't know wrestling don't know to be afraid of Meng.
He's a man called Meng. Anyways, that match was for the tag team WCW World Tag Team titles. Next up, we had Eddie Guerrero defeating DDP, which was the finals of a tournament for the vacant U.S. Heavyweight Championship. And that tournament actually was a pretty good card.
Yeah.
We started off with Eddie Guerrero versus Conan. Obviously, Eddie went over. Chris Benoit versus Steven Regal. That'd be another good match.
Yeah.
Lex Luger versus Arn, which ended up in a double countout. So,
why am I not surprised?
And then DDP versus Jeff Jarrett. DDP won. So since that match ended in a double countout, DDP got a straight trip to the finals. while Guerrero beat Benoit, and that's how we got that matchup.
Half of that tournament sounds like it'd be fun to watch. The other half, not so much.
Really, only one match in that tournament. Because I watched Benoit Regal.
Yeah.
And Eddie Conan in the mid-90s was probably fucking fire.
Well, I mean, those are the two matches I was talking about. The other two sound like they would be. I mean, yes, DDP is involved in the one that I can't remember the other person was in.
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett. Yeah, that's exactly why. Because it feels like that match would be doo-doo. Like, DDP can be the best worker in the world. It's still against Jeff Jarrett. In, like, 96 Jeff Jarrett. Not like, he wasn't very entertaining post this time, but he was also super not entertaining at this time.
How do you feel about Jeff Jarrett, really, Willem?
Well,
I feel like you would agree with the sentiment. He broke 1,000 guitars and never drew a dime.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Anyway, continue.
Speaking of guys that you were super excited about here in that tournament, Lex Luger defeated the Giant in probably a slow fucking match.
Yeah. It's very, like, Lex Luger is a very 90s WCW wrestler. Like,
WWE wrestler. He's just a very 90s wrestler.
Right, but he's got the, like, he's not got a face for WWF. Like, his face just screams WCW. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just like, oh yeah, you don't look like you belong in the WWF. You look like you should go down south. Go head down to WCW.
Go where you belong.
Yeah.
Down south.
Well, I mean, and it makes sense. It's the reason he was WCW champion multiple times, and he never held the WWF title once.
Should have.
Yeah.
They had him.
He probably should have gone over Yoko at that SummerSlam.
They had him act like he did. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna get me on a whole different. Anyways, next match, which was your main event, non-title, and we know why it's non-title. You know, Hogan's not going over because it's a non-title match. Piper beat Hogan by submission. This is another one. If you're gonna have the fucking match, just pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Roddy can be he could be an interim champ. You put it on somebody else in 2 months. Like, what's the point of having him beat Hogan but have Hogan keep the title? That is just not what titles are for.
I mean, transitional champions were still in effect around this time, so it would make sense for them to just, like, give it to Roddy so that Roddy can give it to someone else.
Yeah. Like, I don't get it. It just... He beat him anyways. Hulk took the loss. You might as well give it all the meaning you can.
Right. I mean, WCW was still WCW. There's no fixing that.
Hogan
let's be real.
Creative control.
Yeah.
Hogan said no.
Also, I just want to point out, like, I understand that wrestling, and like, if you look at snapshots of wrestling, a lot of it looks very suggestive. That snapshot of Hogan versus Roddy, if you look on the network right now and you go and you find the flag, and you go and look at it, at least for me, it looks like Hogan's just, like, trying to give him a good hard massage, and he's just like
very intimidating.
He's just like holding him by. He's like, all right, let's go rub the ribs, just work that out. You got a couple kinks that we got to get going.
Yeah, it's no DDP Eddie.
Yeah,
that's a good tag.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't quite know what's going on there. Anyway. So, do we have anything else we want to talk about this, or are we going to go ahead and get right into the match?
Let's talk about that. When you go to the network and click on the title and it brings you to 39 minutes and 29 seconds, you get a wonderful picture of Mean Gene kind of mixed with the crowd, sticking his tongue out. It's adorable.
Yeah. That's I wish I really wish I could just, like, take that, like, if I would use this for our thumbnail if it had anything to do with the match. That's, like, perfect. But it doesn't have anything to do with the match. We need to advertise a little bit. So
what a voice.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. Well, as he said earlier, if you're looking for this on the network, the match starts at 39 minutes 29 seconds. It is the fourth flag in the selection category. We're going to give everybody about 10-15 seconds to go ahead and watch this, or to go ahead and try and find this on the network. If I'm being completely honest, I'm a big old Mark. I got my New Japan flag. I got my AEW flag. I don't think I've ever watched a Liger match.
What?
I think like the only Liger match I think I've ever seen is the the least one that you would ever expect. It's the Liger Tyler Breeze match that they had in NXT.
That's the one I was gonna say. You didn't even see that match because that's a very Americanized audience one.
That's the only one I think I've seen. Like, I've been aware of Liger for decades. I don't think that I've ever really like. I've not taken the time. Like, I understand who and what Liger is. Yeah.
I'm surprised you've never seen any of Liger on some of the New Japan shows, even going on to like 20 when we were watching New Japan. Whatever year that was.
If I'm being completely honest, 90% of the time on a New Japan show, I won't watch the whole show. I'll just like skip forward through to the matches that I really want to watch.
Oh, okay.
So I tend not to like put it on and sit and watch it because I got other shit that I want to do.
See, I tend to multitask it.
Yeah.
Where I'll do something else. But that's
kind
of another rabbit hole.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get right into the match. Like I said, it's going to be at 39 minutes, 29 seconds. We're going to go ahead and count it down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Click. But don't do like second rope pile drivers like they did it. There was some show, I think it was Naito Ibushi, where they busted out a second rope pile driver. I don't need to see that. I'm good on that forever.
Are you surprised? That is like the fuck your neck championship match.
Like, that's the entire story of every Naito Ibushi match is fuck your neck the match.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh.
Rey just went for a springboard, Hurricane Run off the top rope. Liger countered. Just kind of kicked him right in the head.
And big power bomb.
Big Liger bomb. That was three, and Rey kicked out at nothing.
Rey kicked out at 2.9.
Yeah.
So Liger goes to face Ultimo Dragon at the Tokyo Dome.
Yep.
Which, can we not act shocked?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to have the Japanese superstar, the New Japan guy, win the match that means you get to wrestle for New Japan.
Right.
As great as it would be to see Rey win that match.
Right. I kind of want to see it. It's too bad, like, again, none of those shows are on, like, a network anywhere for us to go back and watch. That might be on New Japan World somewhere, though.
All right. Are you ready, Willem?
Let me pause my stuff here.
All right. For the hot tagline.
What is your hot tagline?
Dudes in their prime.
Prime Junior's good. With a thumbs up emoji.
I like how we both were like prime. These guys were prime.
Yeah, these were fucking great.
Yeah, fantastic. That could be on any card today.
Oh yeah.
That could be tomorrow on AEW, and I wouldn't miss a beat.
100%. So let's go ahead and that's a quick transition there, but let's go ahead and go from that right into Rebooked, the part of the show where we go ahead and we rebook this match with modern day wrestlers to see who could redo this match just as good, if not better. Do you have your people? Because I have mine.
I have mine. Do you want to go first, or would you like me to?
I can go first because you went first last time.
Okay.
Okay. So, looking at this match, looking at the guys in this match, I'm thinking for Rey Mysterio, who could replace Rey Mysterio in a match like this? Who's just as good in the ring, just as good on the ropes, a great flyer, a great worker, just in general. And I'm thinking Ricochet.
Why didn't I think of Ricochet? I'm such a mark for him. Yep.
Like, even the gear is just like Ricochet.
Why didn't I think of Ricochet? That's such an obvious one.
Yeah, I know.
That's a good shout.
That's a good shout. And then my replacement for Liger in this match. So I had two, actually. Just based off of the move set and like the impact of the moves that Liger was putting out. I had two choices. And I'm debating on whether or not I should go with one because he's an older guy, but he's still wrestling today. So I don't know if that would even fit in something like this.
Do it. I don't care.
Well, my two were Kenny Omega, because Kenny's just as good a flyer, just as impactful. But more fitting for the moveset in this is Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Although that's kind of cliche because they're both Japanese guys, but they both have very similar movesets. They both can fly. They both have very impactful moves. They both have very good drop kicks, and they're both great, fantastic in the ring. So my rebooking of this match would be Ricochet versus Hiroshi Tanahashi.
I'd give dollars to see that match.
Yep.
My match is a little more left field than yours.
Okay.
So I looked at Liger's offense.
Okay.
And it reminded me a little bit of maybe a tiny bit more physical Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
He was hitting those big impactful power bombs, going back to the submission maneuvers. And I was trying to think for Rey who could do it. And really not a whole lot of people that weren't already on this show a lot came to mind. But
shout out to Slick Billy with the big willy.
Shout out to Slick Billy and his big willy. But so I took a quick trip to the New Japan Juniors roster.
You just did a cursory glance at the roster. He's like, who looks like Rey? Who's a good Rey?
Just trying to remind myself of a guy, Flip Gordon.
Ooh, fuck Flip Gordon. Fuck Gordon. Fuck Flip Gordon. Fuck him. He's fucking like anti-COVID. He doesn't think COVID's a real thing. He's a piece of shit.
Didn't know that. Fuck Flip Gordon. So not Flip Gordon. Fuck. Well, now I got. God damn it. I thought I had a good one. I was just like, he does flippy shit.
Well, this is completely off topic, but I'm fairly certain Flip Gordon has some like really, really stupid opinions about COVID or about like the shutdown or about masks or something that was dumb.
Well, let's agree he's an idiot.
Yeah.
And let's buy me a second to figure out somebody else. Who's not an idiot also? I don't know.
Yeah, Hillary, Flip Gordon, he was a regular on the Ring of Honor roster, and by all means, like, he's a great wrestler. He's actually fairly entertaining, but from all indications of his like his personal beliefs on stuff, he's kind of a shit.
I'm glad that I took a minute to think about this.
Okay.
Because we kind of disregarded the style that Rey was doing and substituted it for flippy shit. When really it's a lucha style. Let's bring in, who's the best lucha guy going today that does all the flippy shit?
Rey Fenix.
Rey Fenix.
Yeah.
Let's bring in, I want Zack Sabre Jr. and Rey Fenix. That'd be a fucking match.
That'd be a pretty good match. I'd watch that.
They would probably fucking beat the hell out of each other too.
I'm iffy on Rey Fenix as it is, just because I feel like he's rather unsafe. But that would be a pretty good match.
I think that's just Rey's. He's unsafe, but mostly just for himself.
Right. I don't think he's unsafe as a worker. I think he's just careless about his own safety.
It kind of reminds me of like Ibushi or Naito, the fuck your neck style, where it's kind of like, I'm just gonna go put on a great show regardless of if it damages my body.
Right, but the thing is, like, Ibushi and Naito, they're known for doing, like, fuck your neck stuff, so they train their necks to not do that stuff. The two things that have taken Rey Fenix out were, like, a botched, like, plancha that fucked up his hip, and then, like, something else that fucked up his back, and I don't think those are things that you can, like, plan for. It, like, all
Fair
of...
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyway, That's just my opinion on Rey Fenix. I feel like he's a great worker, but he's a little like he could do a little bit more to take care of himself. So anyway, there
At this point, he's not that's his style.
yeah. All right, so that's rebooked out of the way. So what is your rating? Oh, that's not rebooked out of the way. So do you think the right person went over in this match?
Personally or booking wise?
Let's do both.
Booking wise, yes, it makes a lot of sense. But I kind of want to see Ultimate Dragon Rey Mysterio in the Tokyo Dome. So I'm gonna go no on that front because I want to see the other match.
Yeah. So this was Rey Mysterio versus Jushin Liger at Starrcade 1996. Jushin Liger went over, but it was like a really weird count. Like Ray kicked out at like 2.9, 3.1, but Liger was given the end of the match. But it makes sense because the winner of this match got to go face Ultimo Dragon, presumably for the J Crown at whatever New Japan's Tokyo Dome show was. So it makes sense for Liger to do it because I doubt if they could have gotten Mysterio over there to do it.
Yeah.
So I think, again, you're correct. The right person went over booking wise, but I feel like for a match that I want to see, I would rather have seen Rey go over.
Yeah. I would like to see that match because the two of them would go balls to the walls in the Tokyo Dome.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So now that we have rebooked over with, what is your rating for this match out of 5?
4 1/4 stars. I saw some cool stuff. Rey did some amazing moves. Liger played the more imposing physical presence in this match because he was. But overall, it was really, really good. This would go on any card without a hiccup.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 instead of 5, just mainly because that finish was a little off. And then I feel like the match went a little short. For something like this, I feel like it could go maybe another 2-3 minutes. If this maybe went 18-20 minutes, that'd probably bump it up to a 5 stars. And if it actually had like a non-screwy finish, that'd be kind of neat too. But
finish took away from it as well.
It is what it is. It's just kind of it's kind of how the match had to end to make both men look fairly strong going out of it. JD in the chat asking when we're going to review some Al Snow or D'Lo Brown matches. We will probably be reviewing some of that stuff in the near future, actually. At least for Al Snow.
What Al Snow thing are we doing?
Well, because we're doing, just kind of looking down the road, we're doing May I Have Another, which is a month based off of Mick Foley or Tommy Dreamer matches, and I'm sure somewhere in there is a Mick Foley or Tommy Dreamer versus Al Snow match, and that's not in there? No? Nope. Okay. Well, never mind. We'll probably pepper it in at some point if we can.
I could maybe find one, but not in the first round.
Well, in all honesty, JD, we're open to suggestions. Like if we we're always open to more suggestions. A thing that we were planning on doing is once we actually get to a point where we could do like a Patreon, or if we can get subscribers, or like if we can get subs on Twitch or something like that, just opening it up to the community so that people can suggest matches for us to watch. So if you have some suggestions for an Al Snow or a D'Lo Brown match, throw it all our way. We'll review it because there's like, as with everything, cards subject to change.
And like we don't expect to know all the good wrestling matches. Like there's bound to be stuff that's just on my periphery that you might have seen that you can tell me about. That'll turn, like when we did the Great Mootober, I got turned on to like a whole new wrestler because of that.
Exactly.
So I love to hear new stuff.
Yep.
If you've got anything.
JD says Al Snow and Billy Gunn are two guys I'm not sure they ever got their due. Gunn was popular with DX as a worker. He didn't get brought up often.
He had his one chance, but The Rock kind of shit all over him.
Yeah.
And ruined it. Like I don't think The Rock meant to ruin his push, but it's what happened. Great promo, though. I fucking love that promo. The God promo.
It's a great promo, but it literally contradicts what you're trying to go for. You're trying to show Billy Gunn is like, he was actually pretty good. He could have done a good push, and then The Rock just
Could have won the
murdered him.
title. You put that in the right. If you put the right storyline together, he could have won the title in the '90s.
Oh yeah,
He had the presence. He had the size. He was with DX. He definitely could have won the title.
Billy Gunn is fucking huge.
He's over as all fuck. Now he's fucking huge. Jesus Christ.
Not even
that dude is.
Not even now. Like, if you look at him as a human being at any time in history, he's a gigantic man. It just so happens to be that he was surrounded by other gigantic men, so he didn't look quite as big. It's literally the same thing that happened with Brody Lee, Luke Harper. Like,
yeah,
he is a giant mountain of a man, but
he's only 6'3". He looks way bigger in AEW.
Oh yeah,
they make him look fucking big as fuck.
Well, I mean, 6'3" is still fairly tall.
6'3" is what I lie about my height being with him.
Oh.
I always lie up 2 inches. I'm actually 6'1". I always tell everybody I'm 6'3". Nobody questions it.
Yeah.
The one stupid thing I always lie about drives my girlfriend nuts.
Yeah. Jade's got a good point. Like, AEW guys, they're more indie guys, so they're generally a little bit smaller than average.
Yeah.
Than your average. I don't want to say average. They're a little bit smaller than what you'd normally see in like WWE or something like that.
Yeah, WWE goes out of their way to hire the big dudes, though.
The land honestly, of the giants.
Keith Lee should be a big guy. He should go like if he was on AEW, he'd be the big guy there, one of the big guys. And in WWE, he's just kind of normally sized. Yeah, he's a little barrelier than most of the other guys. Big barrel chest.
No. I just thought of a fucking dream match I want to see. I want to see me some Keith Lee versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
Ooh. Sign me. Put that shit in my veins. Let's go.
Fucking done signed in the movie. Give me that shit.
Yup. God. You know what else I saw today that I realized I wanted to see?
Huh.
Ricochet's contract is almost up.
Oh.
Like, because there was rumored he signed a 3-year deal in 2018. If he doesn't resign, imagine him in Impact, or ROH, or AEW, or New Japan, or literally fucking anywhere, because we've forgotten how good he really is.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've seen like reports that there've been oh, fuck you and your Capri Sun.
It's a Kool-Aid jammer. Fuck you.
Okay. Well, I want one. Anyway,
go to Costco.
There's not one around me. I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
You and your damn.
Somehow you've seen.
I've seen reports that there have been like half a dozen, if not more, people in WWE who have opted to not renew their contract. So
why would you?
So maybe Ricochet's in there. They're okay. As crap as WWE is with most of their booking.
That's not what I was getting at. I'll explain in a minute, though.
Well, what I was saying was, as crap as WWE is with most of their booking, there are a handful of guys who are who could be considered indie darlings, who are hands down better off in WWE than they could be elsewhere. Like the Undisputed Era, keep them in dub. Like that's a bright shiny point in the dub, and they've done way better with them. They are hands down the best booked faction in WWE, like almost in WWE history.
Mm-hmm. They're booked fantastically.
Yeah. But there are a handful of guys that like you say they could do better elsewhere, but they are still booked fairly well in WWE.
Ricochet's booked that well. If you want
Ricochet is not booked well. Ricochet should go somewhere else.
So what I meant when I said when I made the comment about like why wouldn't you, is I was trying to say like so in a land where there's competition, which is what we have now, why wouldn't you at least see what the other side is offering?
Right.
Like regardless of what, like Randy Orton probably got a better deal because he was able to play AEW against Vince.
Right.
Everybody should play the two billionaires against each other to get as much money as they possibly can.
Well, and that was Dalton Castle's whole reason for leaving Ring of Honor, because he wanted to see what else was out there. Like, there's no harm in seeing what else is available.
Go look. Go maybe get a big deal.
Right.
Jay White with New Japan, if he's actually looking, I don't know if that's a work or a shoot or what it is. But if he's able to get, I think it's a work too. Because I think he said in like 2018 or 2017 he signed a 7-year deal.
Yeah,
but
and
that's not the point.
He's been advertised for New Japan shows in March, something like that.
The point is if you can go and get a few more dollary dues,
right?
Because you like talked to the other company, go do it.
Right. If you have the option, make that money.
Yeah, 100%. And I would start if I was new guys and I was talking to Vince. I'd have Twitch in my fucking contract. I get to have a Twitch. Even if I don't have one now, I will contractually have the option to have it, or I will not sign with you.
Yeah.
And OnlyFans and Cameo. Fuck it.
Well, I mean, all the reports from Zelina Vega, Thea Trinidad, is that she was making more money on Twitch than she was on her WWE contract. Which I don't know if that says more about how her fan base was on Twitch or how little she was making from WWE. Who knows?
Probably how little I know some of those WWE contracts. I've seen videos, and like the big men's ones get up to like $1 million in that range. Some of those women's ones could be like $150,000 a year or less.
Oh, they're signing some like NXT rookies and stuff like that to $50,000 a year contracts.
Vince is a fucking billionaire. Just pay them well.
Like they tried before. Okay, so back in like 2012 when AJ left Impact Wrestling before he went to New Japan. I don't know if it was 2012. It was 2014, somewhere in there. He was offered a contract to go work in NXT for $50,000 a year, and he said fuck that and went to New Japan.
Why would he's AJ Styles?
Right. Exactly.
He probably made more doing 10 matches in New Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, $50,000 and they have to cover hotel and travel.
For AJ, that's fucking ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, you are a billionaire.
You can see how that kind of went. Like, I don't want to say he bet on himself because, like, he was already a big name. Like, he was going to be AJ Styles wherever he fucking went. And he just went and upped his stock about 1,000-fold in New Japan.
Oh, he got so much money?
Yep.
So much more than $50,000. I don't know what contract AJ's on, but I bet you it is bar minimum 10 times.
Oh, yeah.
If not 15 to 20 times more than that 50,000.
Yep. And now, like, he's been WWE champion multiple times. He's got, like...
Because obviously.
Right, because he's AJ Styles. Like, he's got one of the longest WWE title reigns in history. Like, in modern history. Like, you can't look back at the Bruno era.
Yeah.
But in
they
modern...
held titles for ridiculous amounts of time back then.
Well, it's because, like, they didn't have TV at the time, so they just, like... There were long stretches of time in between shows. So, like, if you were to take the amount of shows that Bruno defended the belt on, it probably would... It would definitely still be longer than what we've got now, but it probably...
Because they did house shows too, didn't they?
House shows were all that they did.
Well, yeah, but non-tape stuff. So, like,
yeah,
they still did probably more matches than you think they did.
I'm sure they did more matches than you think they did. But, like, granted, Bruno, like, even if you take the amount of matches and the amount of appearances, I guess you could say, if you take the amount of appearances that Bruno had as champion and weigh it against the amount of appearances that, like, AJ or CM Punk or, like, any of the other, like, year-plus long champions aside from Brock Lesnar, it's probably not this. He's probably still, like, way above everybody, but it's probably not too far off. It'd be a neat thing to look into. Anyway, that'd be a big deep dive into history that nobody's got fucking time for.
If you have time for that, you can contribute to this channel today.
Contribute to the channel. We'll make a video on it that gets 6 views.
Fuck yeah, we will.
Yeah. Except unless you're the Great Muta versus Hiroshi Hase, which is quickly encroaching on 500 views, or Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H, 3 Stages of Hell, which is also quickly encroaching on 500 views. Which holy shit!
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So do you have anything else you want to bring up today?
Good stream, brother. Thank you for streaming.
Yeah. If you're not aware, I'm starting to do more streams during the day. I'm trying to get good at speedrunning. I've been picking up Yakuza Kiwami 2, and I'm trying to pick up a lot more games in that franchise because the games are fun. I love them, and there's not a lot of people running them, so I kind of want to get good at those. And I've been doing that at various points in the mornings and the afternoons, whenever I get time to do them. More likely than not, they're going to be in the morning because I have about 4 hours, if not more, in the morning because I don't go into work until noon Eastern. But if you want to check me out, see me do some speedruns, I'll be doing a lot more of those just because I want to do them.
Woo!
And I've also like updated all the graphics and shit for that too.
And it looks good. Thank you.
Yep. Well, if you don't have anything else, I'm going to go ahead and go into the outro. Do you have anything?
Shoot.
Okay.
Hit it.
Well, thank you everybody for coming out and watching us today. Thank you, Hillary and JD, for coming and chatting with us. We love seeing you here. If you haven't already, go ahead and check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. All of that stuff is in the description down below. If you don't feel like looking at our beautiful faces, go ahead and check us out on Anchor or Spotify. Any of the places that we have our audio podcast. Again, all of that stuff is in the description down below. We will be back this coming Thursday for part 2 of our Austin vs. The Rock trilogy for Stone Cold Steve Austin vs. The Rock at WrestleMania 17. Kind of the match that is spurred as like the end of the Attitude Era almost. I'm very excited to watch that match. I hope you all are very excited to watch that match because it's going to be a very good show. We will see you then. Thank you so much for coming out. Bye-bye.
Bye.